Hello, English language learners. Welcome to Learn English with Dr. DK. So, I hope to see many of you today. If you are interested, the link is there. I already posted the link. You can join the class. And we are going to start our today's lesson. As you know, we read and then we discuss the information. So that's the best way to practice your English language skills. So I always bring sometimes stories and sometimes articles, informational text. So all kind of readings where we can read and discuss. So again, because by reading and discussing, you will be learning more vocabulary and structure, and you will be practicing your skills, right? So let's start the lesson. And today I'm going to share this screen with you. And today we are going to read about honeybees. Okay, so let's read about honeybees. I hope you, I don't know, when I was little, I had really many bitter experiences with honeybees. जैसा कि कई बार होता है ना कि जो हनी बी का वो पूरा हाइव होता है, जिसको जैसे आप देख सकते हैं इस पिक्चर में. दिस वन इज अ मैन मेड हनी बी हाइव, but there are many areas and the trees where you can see the natural honeybee hives, right? So this one is the artificial honeybee hive. But yes, the bees are real and the honey is pure. Okay, so let's read about honeybees. Okay, so Raman, do you want to start reading?
Yes, ma'am. How many bee farms are there in India? Beekeeping implies 2,050
100 or 2 lakhs.
2,50,000 people living in 40,000 villages. In most Indian beekeepers are small producers. There is only one large bee farm in Punjab, which has 8,000 bee colonies. In India, there are 1 million bee colonies of Apis mellifera and Apis cerana.
Right. Okay. So I just found this information. I was like, okay, let's start this from India, because most of the students are in this class are from India, right? Or so beekeeping, as you can see, they employ, it's only about India, 2,50,000 people, right? Or in other words, you can read this as 250,000 people living in 40,000 villages, right? And most of the Indian beekeepers are small producers, right? But the only one farm in Punjab, which has how many colonies? 8,000 bee colonies, right? So they have, these bee colonies are Apis mellifera and Apis cerana. Okay, good. Let's read the next one. Okay, let's see. I have Suman here. Suman, go ahead, read this one, please.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sure whenever you see honeybee, you freak out and keep your distance from it. Most people fear honeybees, stingers, but honeybees are very important insects. Honeybees are yes, ma'am. Honeybees are flying insects that feed nectar and pollen from flowers. Honeybees are usually yellow and black and covered with fuzzy hair. And honeybee's body is like other insects divided into three major sections. The middle section is called the thorax, and the last section is called the abdomen.
Abdomen.
The abdomen. The bee has five eyes on its head, two wings, and three sets of legs. It also has two antennae from
Antenna.
uh, antenna for touching and smelling. The workers' honeybees last set out legs might have little sacs that
Store.
that um,
Okay.
that
Uh,
store the pollen that bee has collected from flowers. Many bees have strings filled
Finger.
with poison. The stinger is a bee's protection from danger.
Danger. Right. Okay. So,
Yes,
what
ma'am.
do you think? Whenever you see honeybee, don't you freak out? Don't you just get scared from it? I'm asking you. Do you?
Ma'am, yes, I scared from.
Do you have any experience when it stings you?
I
No,
think, ma'am, honeybees are very dangerous.
Right. Like
Yes,
there,
ma'am.
I mean, if you like to have a stings from many honeybees at the same time, then yes, it is like, then it's going to be too much poison. But yes, if there is only one or two honeybees,
Because, but ma'am, but ma'am, I am very shocked to know that the honeybees has five eyes.
five eyes. Yes, right.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
It's very shocking.
It's very shocking for you.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Right. So it's very important insect, right? Why do you think it's very important insect?
ma'am, because its honeys are very important in human life.
Why?
Because ma'am, there are many uses of honey in our daily life.
So they gives you the honeybee gives us something.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am, it's uses for some throat infection, it's also uses for skin because it's very useful for skin, and some people also
Oh, you are
drink
telling me
millet.
about honey, right? But I am
Yes,
saying why honeybee is important. So it gives us honey, right?
yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
So because it gives us honey, is there any other use, or is there something else that honeybee does except giving us the honey? Any other job, important job they do? Do you know that? Anyone? If Suman or Raman, do you know that? Yes or no? Just say it right away. Yes or no? I don't know. That's fine because that's what we are learning, right? Okay. So honeybees, as you can see, they are flying insect. That means they fly, right? And that feed on nectar. So what is nectar? Anyone? Nectar is the juice from where?
Ma'am, flower.
Flowers, right? Nectar and pollen. The pollen. Do you know what is pollen?
No, ma'am. I
Okay,
just
so
know
we'll
about
be learning
nectar.
about pollen also. Okay, so I will show you the pollen too in like the next pictures. So honeybees are usually yellow and black and covered with fuzzy hair. On the next slide, I will show you the honeybee and the description. But here we are just reading its description, how the honeybee looks like. So honeybee's body is like other insects, right? There are all other insects. Their look is pretty same. How it's same? They all insects, or I will say most of the insects are divided into three major sections, right? They divided into three major sections, insects, right? So insects divided into three major sections. So the middle section is called thorax, middle one, and the last section is called abdomen. Abdomen means जैसे हमारा जो abdomen है वो पेट वाला एरिया जिसको हम abdomen कहते हैं, but honeybee's last section is called the abdomen. The bee has 5 eyes on its head, 2 sets of wings actually, and 3 sets of legs. Yes, it also has 2 antennas, okay, for touching and smelling. So antennas are, the honeybee uses its antennas for touching and for smelling. Antenna. So these are the antennas. You will be seeing that on the next slide. The worker honeybees last set of legs. So only the worker honeybees, because the honeybee, I don't know how much you know about bees, but there are different kind of bees, okay? The last set of the legs might have little sacs, okay? And that store the pollen. Sacs means जैसे थैली है, थैलियां होती हैं ना जैसे, उसको sacs कहते हैं. So sac is thali. So they store, what they store in that sac? What they store in that sac? Pollen, right? That bee has collected from flowers. So many bees have stingers जो sting करते हैं, काटते हैं. आप sting करें तो that's what it is, you know, poison, and that is filled with what? Poison, right? So
Ma'am, I want to ask you something.
Yes.
Ma'am,
Go ahead, ask.
I want to ask you something, ma'am. Antenna for touching and smelling. What will be meaning there of antenna and touching and smelling?
Antenna is for. Antenna, the use. What is the use of antennas? Antennas are for touching and smelling. So honeybee smells and touch the things with what? With its what? Antennas. So antennas के साथ वो touch की जो किसी चीज को वो touch करती है, तो उसकी जो और उसको जो स्मेल है किसी चीज की, जैसे फ्लावर पे वो जाएगी तो फ्लावर को जब वो टच करती है तो वहां जो उसको स्मेल है उससे उसको पता चलता है कि ये फ्लावर है, राइट? ये लीव नहीं है, फ्लावर है, ये कोई और चीज नहीं है. देन इट सक्स द व्हाट? नेक्टर फ्रॉम देयर, राइट? सो एंटेनास आर हेल्पफुल फॉर honeybee to touch something, to feel something. When you touch something, you feel it, right? And when you smell something, you know what it is. Do you understand what I'm saying? समझ आ रही है आपको? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So for example, in this one, so these two you can see in this picture, antennas, right? Antennas. So here you can see the compound eyes. These two are the big eyes, compound eyes, right? And these three here, very tiny, ocelli eyes. So these are the 3 eyes, and these 3 eyes on the head. But these 3 eyes are the big eyes, and there are antennas. You can see that there are 2 antennas. This helps honeybee to smell the flowers or sense the flowers, touch, right? Okay, so these are the parts of honeybee. You can see honeybee's tongue, really. Yeah, when you see it's really small, right? But in this picture, you can see all parts of honeybee. So this one we were talking about the pollen basket. You see this yellow one where it just collects the pollen. And this one is the last part is the stinger actually. जिससे वो काटती है हमें. This is the part, last one. And that's for her protection, you know. And these are the wings. 2 sets of wings means there are 4 wings. So this part is abdomen. And this is a fur. You can see the hair, fuzzy hair. So, but when you see honeybee, that's really tiny. But as you can see, this one is a diagram. So it has a more broad picture with all that information about parts of honeybees, right? Any question about this picture?
No, ma'am.
No, okay. So now let's move on to the next one. So Ravi, go ahead, read.
Hello, ma'am.
Mhm.
I can read, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. The queen honeybee is the biggest bee in the hive. There is usually only one per hive, and her job is to go to grow the family by laying eggs that will become the next generation of honeybees. She lays over 1,000 eggs per day and can live anywhere from 3 to 5 years. When the time comes for a new queen to take over, some larvae are placed in special chambers to grow queen bees. These larvae are fattened up with royal jelly, a nutritious
Mhm.
substance that works bees secret. It usually takes about 2 weeks for female larva to grow into a queen bee. The first female bee to become a queen bee kills the other and potential queen bees.
So you see, it's very interesting. So the queen honeybee is the biggest bee in the hive, right? So if we can see, this bee has more what? She's more powerful because she's queen, very natural. And as you already saw the hive, right? I hope you know where they live, right? That's their home. Hive is their home. So there is usually only, how many queen bees are in one hive?
Maybe only one.
Only. No, it is only one, right? That's what they say. It's like usually, yes, usually one per hive. And so per hive means for one hive, there is one honeybee, queen bee, sorry. And her job is to, what's her job? To grow the family. That's it. That's her job. She just does lay the eggs and grow the generation, right? So now that will become the next generation of honeybees. So she lays over how many eggs every day? Over a
A thousand.
what is
Over 1,000.
what is over 1,000 means? Less than 1,000
Uh,
or more than 1,000?
over the
More than
1,000 it means 1,000. Above the 1,000.
Above. Over means above, right? Over 1,000 eggs per day, right? So it's a per day. And who can live for 3 to 5 years? Who can live anywhere from 3 to 5 years?
Honeybees eggs.
Queen honeybee,
Queen honeybees eggs.
right? Because we are talking about queen honeybee, right? So queen honeybee, her job is to just grow the family. That means to lay the eggs and take care of the eggs, right? So when the time comes for a new queen, so when the time comes, after when? After 3 to 5 years, right? In that one hive. So what happens then? The new queen take, oh, sorry. So the new queen take over. What she takes over? She takes over what? The old,
Hive.
Some larva.
Hive.
she takes over old honeybee's job, right? Yes, or the responsibilities. Think about that way, right? Yes.
So same time they live into the same hive, ma'am.
So here, when she is about to die, right, then there will be the new honeybee, the queen bees, especially. So some larvae are placed in special chambers to grow queen bees. So this one, what we are reading here is about, I will say, mostly about these hives chambers. See, there are all different chambers. So this one is one chamber, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. You can see this, right? So how they grow up on the natural way, that might be little different. You know, the one I think we already saw the one. Yeah. So this one, for example, this is natural process. हो सकता है आपने कहीं देखा हो trees के ऊपर. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am. We can see everywhere where
yeah.
the height is available. Just like
Right.
a tree is just a water tank.
Right. So, I mean, this is a natural process, right? So this is the natural way. They create their own hive and they grow the families. But this one, if you notice, this one is man-made, right? This one is not natural. This is the man-made. So this one is a one hive. So they have many hives here. You can see, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think in this box, maybe more than 7. We can see 7s in this picture, right? So that's what we are talking about. How they, so some larvae are placed in special chambers to grow queen bees. So these larvae are flattened up with royal jelly, nutrients. So this word is nutrients, substance that worker bees secrete. It usually takes about 2 weeks for a female larva to grow into a queen bee. So the first female bee to becoming a queen bee kills the other potential queen bees. So what does this mean? So what happened? When the new queen takes over, what she does? She kills the other what? Potential. What is potential queen bees means? What does this means? What is potential queen bees?
Potential means who can grow the hive and who can give the eggs according to.
Potential means the ones they are maybe little, but they are actually queen bees, right? Because the queen bees, first of all, the queen bee size is different, right? It's the biggest in the hive. And even the queen bee's body structure is also different because queen bee does not have sacs. Sacs are the like जैसे कह लो थैली होती है जिसमें वो pollen और nectar इकट्ठा करती हैं. Queen bees में वो नहीं होती उसकी body में, right? So उससे वो पता है कि ये queen bee है. You understand? So when this queen bee, the one who take over, think about a politically point of view, guys. Politics में भी क्या होता है? अगर आप historically जो राजा होते थे वो क्या था? I mean, think about. I will say make the connection here. Politics also.
Yes, ma'am.
Does it make sense? Does it make sense here? Can you connect with the
Yes,
politics?
ma'am. We can connect, ma'am, to the politics as well as Raja Maharajas, just like.
Right, exactly. So you see, because there can be only one queen in real life, true, but here it's very strict rule. In one hive, only one queen. So if there are any potential queens, that means अगर छोटे छोटे बच्चे हैं और वो उनकी जो body है वो queen वाली है, तो what this queen will do? The queen will kill them.
Will kill them.
Yes, because if that queen not gonna kill them, then they will become the queens and they might gonna kill the old one, right? So that's the way it's nature. It is nature, right? And nature is amazing. Sometimes we see the things in nature and we just become speechless. ये हो क्या रहा है? Am I right or not?
Right, ma'am.
Okay. So let's see. The next one is Uh,
May I, ma'am?
Raman,
Yes, ma'am.
yes, go ahead, read, please.
Honeybees live in beehives, which have a distinct order that
Uh-huh.
orders that helps things run smoothly. At the bottom of the totem pole are the workers. Workers are young female bees. Their main duties include finding food, nectar, and pollen, building the hive, and cleaning it. Honeybees will travel up to 8 miles if necessary to find nectar and pollen to bring back to the hive. Worker bees are the only bees that ever do any stinging. It usually happens because they are trying to protect their hive from harm. A bee rarely stings when away from the hive, but it might sting if it senses danger. The lifespan of a worker bee is anywhere from 4 to 9 months.
Right. So, as you know, that they live, so their home is where? Where is their home? So, honeybees, they live in beehives,
Beehives.
right? Okay. So, which have distinct order. So, it's by nature, right? That they will run the things very smoothly. So at the bottom of the totem pole, at the hive, and the bottom part is where the workers live. So even if you think in reality, in the way our system works from top to bottom, right? So same thing it is. The workers are the bees, those they live under the lower part of the hive. So who lives on the top? The queen, right? The queen family and the males. Okay. So at the bottom of the totem pole are the workers. So workers are young female bees. So who are the workers? Only female bees who are what? Young, right? And they are not queens. Queen is different. Queen's body is also different. So their main duties include finding food, nectar and pollen, so building the hive and cleaning up. So most of the workers are doing what? Working, right? Cleaning, collecting, taking care of the queen bee and the males sometimes. That kind of stuff they do. So worker bees are only bees that ever do any stinging. So who can sting us? If someone can sting us, they are who? Who are they? They are worker bees and they are females. Okay. Why they sting? Why? Why it happens? When they are trying to protect their hive from harm. अब मैं अगर आपको हिंदी में बोलूं तो कई बार क्या होता है, बहुत सारी बीज इकट्ठी आती है, उनको पता नहीं क्या कहते हैं, वो ज्यादातर ये होता है कि किसी छत्ते को कोई छेड़ देता है हनी के लिए, तो वो फिर उनका घर तो खत्म हो गया ना, राइट? सो एंड दैट इज द टाइम व्हेन सम टाइम वो जो पूरी बीज होती हैं वो कई बार लोगों पे अटैक करती हैं.
Yes, ma'am.
होता है ना.
Yes, yes.
बहुत होता है, मुझे याद है जब मुझे बचपन में बहुत सारे इंसिडेंट याद हैं, तो ये बहुत होता था. उसको पता नहीं क्या कहते थे, पूरा जो वो पूरी फैमिली एक जगह से, क्योंकि उनका घर खत्म हो गया तो कहीं जाना है. एंड व्हेन समवन इज टचिंग देयर होम and destroying their home, their hives, and then naturally they will be in danger and they will be angry, they will be upset, and they're gonna sting the people, right? Wherever they're gonna see the danger, right? So why they were doing that? Because they feel harm. So,
For just protection.
राइट. अब जैसे स्नेक है, तो स्नेक को भी कोई किसी को काटने का शौक नहीं है, सच. वो भी जब उसको डेंजर महसूस होती है तो ही अटैक करते हैं. तो ये सारे ही एनिमल्स का है, व्हेन दे फील के देयर इज अ डेंजर, देन दे अटैक. So that's the same thing with honeybee. So bee rarely sting Bee rarely stings when away from hive, but it might sting if it senses danger. And for your kind information, in all these insects and animals, their sense of danger is very strong, very strong. Okay, उनको बहुत जल्दी एहसास हो जाता है।
Yes, ma'am.
So उनकी ये सेंस बहुत ज्यादा स्ट्रांग होती है, तो whenever they feel that, then they attack, and that's the nature as rule, right? Whenever someone feels in danger or attack, they try to protect them, right?
That's why the military armies are taking animals in military works, just like a dogs. They are
Right.
smelling, using the smelling.
Yeah, yes. Oh, yeah. Dogs are very because there are many working dogs. Many and dogs work in many fields. I will say,
Yes, ma'am.
in a police there are dogs.
Police areas and military's area.
Military, customs. On a,
Customs.
I don't know. I didn't see any dog in the Indian airports, but here I have seen sometimes the
Ma'am,
dogs.
also the military, when the dogs join a military, they are
Right.
a limit of years. They have to work and then they have to be retired as well as a soldier.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean something, I have a small story about the dog that you just talked about. I will say about 20 years ago we adopted a dog here in America, I'm talking about, and that dog was actually was a customs dog, you know, the US custom, उनका dog था वो, तो they put it on adoption. Why? Because that dog actually, when he was in customs, and I think when they were exercising, they used to make them to do a lot of climbing and jumping and stuff like that. So that dog, while he was jumping the wall, he got injured. So they treated him. They had his surgery, and then they put him in on adoption because he just got the early retirement. He was just a
Yes,
4 year
ma'am.
4 years old dog. And he was a
Yes.
Labrador, solid black, a big dog, right? So we adopted him. And I remember I used to take him for a walk, and I fell twice because he was so strong. Whenever he saw another dog, he started running, and he was like, it was hard for me sometimes to hold him.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? And we kept him, and he was actually so intelligent. He was like very nice, very gentle daytime. And I remember like one day when I came down in my kitchen downstairs, and I saw he spilled all the like a chocolate syrup and the strawberry syrup on the carpet in my living area. And he did like 2 3 times the things like that. And one day you will not believe it, it was unbelievable. My husband was home, and my husband went somewhere only for like 30 minutes, and we have an automatic garage door close, like वो जो हमारे garage होते हैं उनको हम बस एक switch होता है उसको press करें तो garage खुल जाता है और बंद हो जाता है, right? तो वो जो
Automatic doors.
ऑटोमेटिक गैराज डोर है, राइट? तो वो जो गैराज का डोर था वो ऑटोमेटिक है, तो वो जो एंट्रेंस वाला हमारा अंदर किचन के साथ वाला जो एरिया था वो बाहर मेरे हस्बैंड ने जाके पुश करके वो बाहर निकले, अपनी गाड़ी लेके वो गए। 30 मिनट्स बाद आए तो दे नोटिस के गैराज डोर वाज ओपन एंड ही लॉक्ड इट व्हेन ही लेफ्ट, राइट? अपनी, क्योंकि वो गाड़ी में ही हमारे उस होते हैं व्हाट यू से कीज जो जिसमें हम खोल लेते हैं ऑटोमेटिक, राइट? तो उन्होंने देखा जब आए कि ये तो गैराज कैसे खुला है, मैंने तो बंद किया था। तो there were some people were had a construction a little bit away from my house, and they say, are you looking for your door, a dog? My husband said yes. He said like he just ran towards the other side, and he was like calling him, and then he just came back after like 20 minutes, and we were so shocked that how he opened the garage door. So you know his intelligence, he saw
Yes,
my
ma'am.
husband, that he pushed that button on the wall and the garage door got opened, right? So he actually pushed with his paws that button and opened the garage. It was amazing. We were like but we were shocked. I was like, wow. But then they had a policy within 2 months. If you think you cannot keep it, then you can return. And then I was like, no, he was not a family dog, right? Because he used to be, otherwise, I'm just telling you his smartness. He was so intelligent. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
But then I was like, no, I don't think so. He's a family dog. So we gave him back to them. And then I just bought a little puppy for like 2 weeks. Then we trained him the way we wanted to. Yeah, it was very interesting. Okay, anyway, but yes, here. So lifespan of the worker bee. So if you notice, the queen bee's lifespan is, who remember that? 3 to Queen bee's lifespan. Queen bee's lifespan is 3 to 5 years. Remember
5
that?
years. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
3 to 5 years.
Worker bee's lifespan is only from 4 to 9 months. Right? So this is also nature. So the worker bees, the lifespan is very short as compared to queen bee, right? Did you notice that?
Right, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Suman, your turn.
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
Male honeybees are called drones. They don't have stings.
Stingers. Mhm. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, stinger. The word I was just telling you, the word is stingers.
Yes, ma'am. Strangers, and they don't collect nectar or pollen. And their only purpose is to mate with the queen. Several hundred drones can live in a hive at one time. As the winter months approach, the males are kicked out of the hive to make it easier for the queen and her workers to survive, because in winter there are flowers from where the honeybees can collect pollen and nectar. Lace food means the dogs are the first ones to go.
Right. Okay, so it's also very interesting. So first we learned about queen bee, that queen bee is really a queen and she lives first of all 3 to 5 years. The second interesting thing I will say, we learned that she just lay eggs, more over 1,000 eggs every day, and she just is responsible to grow what? Grow the family, right? And she also, when the new honeybee takeovers, and she kills all the potential honeybees, like that means the other little honeybees, because she doesn't want any mess, or she doesn't want that someone's gonna kill her and take over her place, right? Because her lifespan is from 3 to 5 years. Now, then we learned about the worker honeybee, that the worker honeybee actually has the stringers and the sacs where she collects the pollen and the nectar, and she is the worker. Worker means what? She is the one who is responsible for all the chores, all the jobs, right? Cleaning, collecting food for the families, the whole family, right? And taking care of everything in the hive. Then is male honeybee. Now we're going to learn about what male honeybee's job is and what it's called. So male honeybees are called drones. Okay. So as you know, the drones are also, do you know the drones? आजकल तो पिक्चर्स भी जो वीडियोस भी बनती हैं वो ड्रोन्स के साथ बनती हैं, एंड इंडिया में तो बहुत कॉमन है अब ये. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Right.
ma'am.
So they don't have stringers. Now, if you remember, queen bee and male honeybees, they both don't have what? Stingers, जो कि काटते हैं. So आज से आपको पता चल गया जो काटने वाली हैं वो कौन है? आप worker honeybees, right? Only worker honeybees. And they don't collect nectar or pollen. वो ना काटते हैं ना वो कोई काम करते हैं. Their only purpose is to mate with the queen, right? So their job is only to help the queen to grow the family, right? That's what they do. That's the only job they have. So they don't do anything. Yes. Okay. So several hundred drones can live in a hive at one time. So several hundreds, that means maybe 300, 400, 5, 6, 7, 8 hundreds in one hive with one queen. It's very interesting. As the winter months approach, so summertime, it's very interesting, guys. So summertime, they all are allowed to live there. So they pretty much live like what? Like kings? Yes? Yeah? Summertime, they pretty much live like kings. All are kings, one queen. As the winter months approach, the males are kicked out. So then, this is interesting. Why they are kicked out? So who
So
kicked
that
out? Queen, right? Because queen has a power. So they are kicked out. Why? Because the queen wants what? So her workers can survive. Right? Because workers are the ones, those are responsible to do all the jobs, right? All the chores. सारे काम उन्होंने ही करने हैं. तो क्वीन के लिए विंटर में कौन इम्पोर्टेंट है? थिंक अबाउट इट.
winter में मैम,
वर्कर्स
Workers.
yes ma'am,
इम्पोर्टेंट.
in winter workers is important.
राइट.
Summer,
तो मेल्स को किक आउट कर देते हैं कि निकलो यहाँ से, अब आपकी कोई जगह नहीं है. Right? Because in winter, why? Because there is less food. अब विंटर में देखो तो कितने फ्लावर्स हैं. इंडिया में तो शायद होते हैं, अब यहाँ पे जैसे मैं हूँ, हमारे विंटर्स में तो बाहर बिल्कुल ड्राई हो जाता है एवरीथिंग, राइट? तो देयर आर नो फ्लावर्स आउटसाइड. So what they gonna eat? Because their food is what? Their food is nectar and nectar, right? And pollen. That's what that's their, they use that for living and for their shelter also. So that's why they kick them out. So there are fewer flowers from where the honeybee can collect pollen and nectar. So less food means drones are the first one to go. जो कहते हैं ना, कोई काम नहीं करते, right? उनको क्या कहोगे आप हिंदी में, क्या कहते हैं जो कोई काम नहीं करता?
useless.
यूजलेस हो, और या सो कोई उनकी वैल्यू नहीं है. जो काम नहीं करता उसकी कोई वैल्यू नहीं है. अब रियल लाइफ में भी देखो तो होता है ना, जो कोई काम नहीं करता उसकी कोई वैल्यू होती नहीं है. घर में भी
Yes,
अगर
ma'am.
so that's what it is. So you can see this. These are the eggs and the growing bees, and these are the drone bees. So drone bees are the males, right? So you can
Right.
see these are the drone bees. जिनको ऐसे धक्के देके बाहर निकाल दिया जाता है विंटर टाइम पे. It's very interesting. Okay, so you can see the hive inside. यहाँ पे है जो bee रहती हैं उनको, ये देखो, you can see the eggs also, right? Small, little, tiny eggs. Yes. Okay. Why are honeybees so important? Ravi, read.
Okay. They are important because the farmer depends on honeybees to pollinate their crops. They go from flower to flowers. They suck the nectar and move to the pollen from the flower to flower. This process is called the pollination. During the pollination, bees transfer pollen, the yellow powder inside the flower, from one flower to another. This process helps the plants to grow the fruits and make a new seeds and those new seeds can grow into a new plants. So without honeybees, a lot of plants couldn't exist. Expert estimate that bees pollinate nearly one third of vegetables, fruit, and nuts. There are about 100 important crops in the world that depends on the honeybee.
Right. So you see that, I mean, now we are learning about why they are important. Yes, we know they gave us honey, and uh, honey is useful for many things, right? Even in medicines, they use honey in medicines also. People just eat raw honey.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
just eat honey every morning. So because honey is, it's very much available here, and even here we can get the local honey, the local honey from our farmers markets. It's very common here. So honeybees are important because farmers depend on honeybees to pollinate their crops. Now, before I move on to this explanation, I just want to show you the pollination, how this process works. So you see this flower, and on the top, you see the bee is sitting, right? So when bee is sitting here, bee is collecting this yellow powder. Okay, so you can see it's gonna just get it's when she is sucking the nectar, and she's sucking the pollen also, and the pollen also can be around her body. So when bee is sitting on this flower, then she gonna move to another flower, another flower, another flower. And I don't know how many of you actually know that even in plants there are female plants and there are male plants. Do you know that?
Uh,
I am
you,
talking to everyone. Do you know that even every plant, in every plant, there are male plants and female plants, like more than 100 plants. I will say all the vegetables, many
yes, ma'am.
flowers, many grains, many fruits, nuts. There are male flowers and female flowers, the male and female plants. Even on a one plant, you can have male flowers and female flowers, but they need to be pollinated. So that is honeybee's job, because honeybee get the pollen and move on to the other flowers sometime. So it's pollinating. That's the way the flowers gets better fruits and better crops. Okay, pollination is very important. So even like we grow vegetable garden, there is a disturbance, guys. Please mute. Thank you. So even when we grow the vegetable garden, and we grow flowers also with it. Why? Because that's gonna help all other vegetables to grow better, because if the flowers are there, the honeybee will come on the flowers, and then honeybee is gonna pollinate all our vegetable plants. So it's very interesting, yes. So that's the use of the honeybees. So what they do now, so they are important because farmers depend on honeybees to pollinate their crops. So honeybees are important to who? They are very important to farmers, right? Farmers. Because why? Why it's important to farmers? Because they do what? They pollinate. That process called pollination. They pollinate. So pollen, pollinate, pollination, right? So they pollinate the crop, they pollinate the flowers, they pollinate the crops. That is the process. So it is called, so they go from flower to flower, right? So flower to flower means what? एक फ्लावर से दूसरे फ्लावर पे वो आपने देखा होगा कई बार, बीज हैं या बटरफ्लाइज हैं. Even butterflies also do the same thing. They also pollinate. Okay, so flower to flower, and they suck the nectar. They suck means वो juice को suck करती हैं अपनी body में. उनके जो वो sacs हैं वहां पे वो सारा इकट्ठा होता है. Sac, SAC, वो थैली. Sacs का मतलब होता है थैली. They suck the nectar and move the pollen from flower to flower. So this process, which process? Moving from one flower to another flower, right? Sucking the flower's pollen and nectar and moving from one flower to another flower. This whole process is called pollination. So they pollinate the crops. So during pollination, bees transfer pollen. Pollen is what? What is pollen? If I say, what is pollen? Who can answer me? It is a yellow powder inside where? Inside the flowers, right? So I showed you in the picture also. So this part, you see this yellow inside the flower and on the top, जैसे आपने पाउडर सा होता है एक, आपने कभी नोट किया हो, और अगर कभी नोट नहीं किया तो अब नोट करना, हर फ्लावर के अंदर एक पार्ट होता है, किसी में थोड़ा बड़ा होता है, छोटा होता है, येलो, वो उस पार्ट पे पॉलन होता है, येलो पाउडर होता है. वो पाउडर जो है वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है प्लांट्स के ग्रोथ के लिए. उसके
मैम फूलों का पराग जो होता है, पॉलन मीन्स पराग, फूलों का रस.
नहीं, फूलों का रस जो है वो नेक्टर है.
यस मैम. पराग
पराग, अब मुझे देखो हिंदी का इतना वो लफ्ज मुझे नहीं पता. मुझे जो फूलों का रस है, अब देखो वो भंवरे भी होते हैं, वो भी यही काम करते हैं. एनीवेज, यस, जो रस है, आई डोंट नो उसको आप हिंदी में क्या कहते हो, पर वो जो इंग्लिश में उसको नेक्टर कहते हैं. ये जो पॉलन है, पॉलन है, पाउडर है, ये येलो पाउडर होता है फ्लावर्स के ऊपर.
It's a color, ma'am.
हाँ,
Color type.
या वो पाउडर जो है वो एक फ्लावर का दूसरे के फ्लावर पे, मेल का फीमेल के साथ जब वो टच होता है, देन दे हैव अ बेटर वेजिटेबल्स एंड फ्लावर्स. दैट्स व्हाट आई एम सॉरी, वेजिटेबल्स एंड फ्रूट्स. सो दैट इज कॉल्ड पॉलिनेशन, दैट प्रोसेस. ओके, so this process helps plant grow the fruits and make new seeds also, right? So the pollination helps that. So it's important. And those new seeds can grow into new plants. As you know this is very simple. Now, without honeybees, so अगर honeybee ना हो तो क्या होगा? आपको सब्जियां, फ्रूट्स नहीं मिलेंगे ज्यादा. क्यों नहीं मिलेंगे? Yes, because pollination नहीं होगी तो plants भी नहीं बढ़ेंगे ना, because pollination से ही ये सारा process चलता है.
Yes, ma'am.
So experts estimate that bees pollinate nearly 1/3 of the vegetables, fruits, and nuts. So a lot of vegetables, fruits, and nuts are dependent on honeybees. So no honeybees, there might be very few fruits, vegetables, and nuts. So there are about 100 important crops in the world that depend on honeybees. Can you imagine 100 crops? अब खाने में आप सोचो चीजों के बारे में, वेजिटेबल्स, फ्रूट्स, नट्स, ग्रेन्स, उनमें 100 के करीब ऐसे हैं जिनको पॉलिनेशन चाहिए और हनी बीज चाहिए हमें. सो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट हनी बीज का होना.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, honeybees are in danger. वो खतरे में हैं honeybees. Who is my next reader?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead.
Honeybees are in danger. Honeybees population is decreasing and many people are worried about it. A decrease in bees takes a toll on farm crops. People think the chemicals used on farms may be hurting them. Veromites, which have come to the United States from Asia, have destroyed honeybee population during the last few years. Mites are tiny 8-legged creatures that live off plants, animals, or food.
Right. So now honeybees were in danger, right? Why? बहुत सारे reasons हो सकते हैं, but that means in danger means their population is decreasing. Natural population is decreasing, honeybees population. So the people are worried. Who are the people worried? The experts and the farmers, right? A decrease in bees take a toll on farm crops. So this is like a take a toll. What does that mean? Without even knowing the actual meaning of these words, what do you think? कि जो क्रॉप्स हैं उनको क्या हो रहा है, उनके लिए खतरा बढ़ गया है, राइट? क्रॉप्स के लिए प्रॉब्लम हो रही है. So people think the chemical used on farms may be hurting them. So they're just assuming that could be one of the problem, that chemicals, right? जो इतनी
Yes,
जो chemicals बहुत सारे स्प्रे होते हैं उनकी वजह से भी हनी बीज कम हो रही हैं. Then it's a varroa mites. Varroa mites भी एक तरह का insect है which have come to the United States from Asia. So can you imagine? They just fly, right? They can fly maybe thousands of miles. And that have destroyed honeybees populations during the last few years. So mites are tiny 8-legged creatures that live off plants, animals, or food. So that's what they eat. So now, who is my next reader? Read this one, please. Okay, Ravi, you can read.
Okay, ma'am. Farmer feels the effect as mites destroy the colony of large bees inside the hive. Beekeepers who manage hives rent honeybees to farmer to pollinate their crops. The bee shortage has driven up prices. Driven up price, make it expensive for farmer to rent honeybees. Each year, bees typically pollinate crops worth about $15 billion. Crop loss due to the bee shortage cost farmer billions. Farmer is California are practically particularly hunting because about 80% of the world almonds are grown there. Almonds tree blossoms need honeybees to pollinate them.
Right. So farmers feel the effect as mites destroy the colony or large bee inside the hives. So mites are the reason that they are destroying the honeybees, right? So beekeepers who manage hives rent honeybees to farmers to pollinate their crops. So honeybees आजकल क्या हैं, बहुत सारे farmers कई बार उनको रेंट पे भी ले लेते हैं. कैसे लेते हैं वो मैं अभी आपको आगे पिक्चर्स में दिखाऊंगी. The bees shortage has driven up prices, making it expensive for farmers to rent honeybees. अब honeybees किराए पे मिलती हैं. Can you imagine that? Rent पे मिलती हैं वो.
Yes,
Each year, bees typically pollinate crops worth about $15 billion, and that is only, I am talking about America. So crop loss due to the bees shortage cost farmers billions. So farmers in California are particularly hurting. Why? Because 80% of the world's almonds, बादाम जो हैं, पूरी दुनिया का 80% बादाम कहाँ पे होता है? कैलिफोर्निया में.
California, yes, ma'am.
अमेरिका में. Okay. So 80% of the world's almonds. इंडिया में आप इसको कहते हो almond, but अमेरिका में इसको almonds कहते हैं. Because this A is A sound. Okay. So almonds.
Okay.
Almonds are grown there. So अगर आप किसी अमेरिकन को almond बोलोगे तो उसको समझ नहीं आएगी. ये मेरे साथ हुआ है. मैंने पता नहीं क्या हुआ तो I said almond and my friend was like, what? I was like, almonds. She was like, what? I was like, oh, almonds. I was like, okay. Sometimes I don't know. Like, it's easy to understand, but sometimes some people gives you impression that they didn't get it. So I don't know what was the reality, but almond. Now I say it almond, not almond anymore. Okay, almond trees blossoms. The blossoms need honeybees to pollinate them. So you can see बादाम जो है, almonds जो हैं, उनके लिए bees बहुत important है. So ये सबसे ज़्यादा कैलिफोर्निया के जो farmers हैं उनके लिए इनकी जो endangered था वो cost उनको किया. Now you can see these are the hives जो कि आप रेंट पे ये बॉक्स लेके अपने फार्म में रख सकते हैं. तो वहाँ पे आपको हनी भी होंगी, वो पॉलिनेट करेंगी. बिकॉज जितना वो पॉलिनेट, अब ये अगर आप देखो तो there is some kind of a orchard there, right? There are many flowers and trees around that area, right? So that's the way it is. Now you can see this. This is a hive, and there are many honeybees, and the nectar is there. Sorry, the honey is there, right? The pollen is there. So protecting honeybees. Who wants to read the last one?
I
Yes.
want to read this.
Okay, go ahead.
To help protect honeybees and tackle the mite problem, government agencies and the National Honey Board are conducting research. They are also trying to encourage more people to go into
Apiculture.
culture or beekeeping.
Right. So that is the apiculture of beekeeping, where you create this kind of bees, right? That is kind of like an apiculture of, because it's not a natural process like on the trees, hives on the trees, right? This is like a man created, human created, right? Man-made hives and artificial way. But this is the real, honey is real, the bees are real, right? The process is scientifically created. So to
Right,
help
ma'am.
and tackle means to tackle the situation. क्या होता है? किसी प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करना, yes, tackle करना उसके. Or so government agencies and National Honeybee Board are conducting research. So they are trying to encourage more people to go into apiculture of beekeeping. So that's the process of beekeeping, apiculture. So this is, you can see here. And honey is, I don't know about India, how much pure honey you get there, but in America, we get pure honey, 100% pure honey. It's a very easily available, right? So, and this one, for example, I just have one website. This one is from New Jersey, I think, Birds and Bees Farm, where they donate the bees to people, the farmers, if they want the bees, and all kind of a natural stuff I was just reading. So there are many, right? So I don't know, maybe you can find this kind of information in India also. If you want to research more about honey, bees, and all that stuff, you can look for more information. So I was just showing you. So what did you learn? And now, please don't read anything. Whatever you remember from this reading, today's reading, just talk about it, one person at a time, and you all will get a chance to speak. Okay, who wants to go first? And again, I'm not judging your English. This is just your practice, that whatever we learn, if you remember anything, just talk about it. Yes. Who wants to go first?
I can, ma'am.
Okay, good. Yes.
The first of all is the queen honeybees. Is the main honeybees in the hive. And they are producing the honeybees above the thousands honeybees in a day. And it's only work to generate honeybees, new honeybees. And after the generating the honeybees, they are finding potential honeybees, and then they can kill as well.
Queen, right?
Queen honeybees. Queen honeybees, potential queen honeybees, they can kill. And then second is workers, honeybees workers. They are living 3 to 9 months, living in hives 3 to 9 months, and their works is collecting the neck, क्या था मैम वो necklace,
Nectar and pollen.
nectar and pollen. Yes, nectar and pollen, and then they are bugs only do to get nectar and pollen and clean the hives. And third one is male honeybees. Their work is only met with the queen honeybees to in summer, sorry, winter.
Yeah.
And then after when winter summer will come, they
Winter
will
comes.
get out from the hives,
Yeah.
and because of survive for honeybees,
Yeah.
workers honeybees,
Because there is not enough food for everyone, right?
food
So
for everyone. And honeybees work is very important because vegetable grows and almonds grows, and it is
about
other
100 crops, right? About
100
100 crops are dependent
about
on
100.
pollination. Yes.
Yes, pollen. It is works as a polish the
Pollination.
vegetable. Okay, and last one is as a business prospect. The farmers are getting in rent to generate honeybees so that they can earn from the almonds
Mhm.
and other parts also.
Right. And did you notice in the beginning, I don't know, when you were maybe trying to get in the class, I showed the very first slide was about India, that there are about 40,000 villages where
Yes,
they
ma'am.
have the way they uh, create those hives and for the farmers and grow the natural honey, right? So I'm sure natural honey is available in India now, easily available, but sometimes uh, purity is not guaranteed, right?
Right,
Yeah.
ma'am. There are multiple of brands available, so
Right,
they are generating the honey.
right, right. So, okay, good one. So, pollination is a process when honeybees, they like suck the nectar and pollen, and right, and they move from one flower to another. So they
Yes, ma'am.
pollinate the flowers. That whole
Pollinated.
process is called pollination. Okay, who is the next one? Suman.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. I want to, ma'am. First, I will say that I'm shocked to comes to know that that they have five eyes, honeybees. It's impossible. Well, they are too small insects. How is
Yeah.
impossible that they have five eyes?
Oh my goodness. Yes, it is
And
possible. It's tiny.
second thing, ma'am,
Mhm.
I'm shocked about that they have king and queen
Right.
in honeybees, ma'am. I remember that when I was child, I watch a cartoon about honeybees.
Mhm.
Then I see about king and queen, but I didn't expect that is it true that honeybees have king and queen in real?
No, no, no. They are not kings. Let me tell you one thing. They are not kings. They are they are just many males over there.
Yes,
Their
ma'am.
job.
Ma'am, ma'am, male means queen. Male means I think king, because queen
No, 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 no.
and king.
No,
Yes, ma'am.
did you notice that they are in hundreds? Their
Yes, ma'am.
population is in hundreds, only one queen, and they are in hundreds, and their job is only to help queen to grow the family. That's it.
Yes,
They don't
yes,
do
ma'am.
anything. So they don't have a king's power. Why? Because did you notice when the winter comes, who are the first one to go from the hive? The
Male
males,
honeybees.
drones, right? So if they are king, the king has a lot of power. So king is the one who can kick everyone out, right? But in this case, they are just males and their job is just to grow the family. That's it. They don't have any other power. Otherwise, they are useless. In other words, I will say, right? Yeah. So I know there are many movies, actually, cartoon movies on Bees, honeybees, especially. Yes, I watched one. I forgot the name of that movie, but it was very interesting. And there is another one on Netflix. I started one day and then I was like, okay, let's watch something else because I already watched one movie on honeybees. And there was a one ant life also. That was also a beautiful movie about ants. And there was a one scada, no, the grasshopper. Sorry, that was interesting movie. Okay. Um, so yes, so you are just amazed about their 5 eyes, okay? But it is possible because if you know more about science, everything is made of what? Atom, right? And atom is so small that you cannot even see the atoms with your open eyes. You need a what you call a, oh my goodness, where you see the things.
Ma'am,
Oh,
it is like a miracle.
it's like miracle.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, you see, ant, ant,
Yes,
ant,
ma'am.
ant is so small, right? And
Yes,
then,
ma'am.
and if you look at the body parts of ants, they have so many. You can look at, you can Google the parts of ants, and you will be amazed. And think about their size. They are so tiny.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
it is. And there are so many other insects. They are so tiny, but have like a amazing their functions also. Think about ants' life also. They do so many amazing jobs, and they have actually, I think, a king and queen and something like that. But in honeys, there is no king. They are males only. Yes. Okay, Raman, do you want to say anything?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead.
I had just I had know
I love.
about the I had just know about the honey, but now I have a chance to know about the honeybees.
Uh-huh.
Honeybees are very important, play very important role in our life,
Right.
and moreover, I know that she has 5 eyes because I never seen honeybees
Mm,
because I just I just see that she's small and
mm,
small eyes, but she has 5 eyes, and
mhm.
it's more important that it collect the nectar from flower to flower and pollinate the other flower fruits and pollinate the fruits and vegetables. So it's more important thing. And the one thing that the queen one thing I know about the queen honeybee, which is more important, and it play very important role in the bee bee families.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
and
yeah.
the male, moreover I know about the male bees, um, which are called drones.
Yes. And
So I learned more about the
yes.
honeybees
Right.
in
Okay.
that. So it plays very important role. uh,
Mhm.
so it
So
so
you
I can
just
say that honeybees is uh, very necessary in our life.
right. They play
And
very
farmers also depends
honey.
on honeybees
Mhm.
to produce their crops.
Right. See, it also depends on what kind of crops you are growing, right? I know, Raman, you live in a village, right? Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So it depends on what kind of crops you are growing, right? And especially if you are growing fruits and vegetables, then you need the pollination, right? The farmers, they
Yes, ma'am.
need pollination for the plants. So did you notice any honeybee hives there, or people grow any honeybees there? Any
No,
honeybee?
ma'am. I
No.
didn't notice that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, maybe it's, but there. Did you? I think
I
you were.
I just I just see the hive of.
Oh, okay, honeybees, right.
Yes.
So one more thing, guys. Okay, yes, you learned a lot about honeybees. Yes, that's true. But at the same time, you learned so much vocabulary. You learned a lot of language through reading, right? And through talking
Yes,
about it.
ma'am.
So don't you think this is the way you enhance your English language?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Everyone, what do you think? How you
To
feel?
enhance the confidence, ma'am.
Enhance the confidence also, right? It's going to build your confidence too. Yes.
Ma'am, I want to say something.
Yes.
Ma'am, when I joined first time this class, I was very hesitant
You were hesitant.
because to speak English,
Mhm.
because I think that if I will be wrong spelling or
Scared to
meanings, what they think about me, that says so dull and blah blah blah. And so now I think now when I speak English, then I feel that they are who are a student. They are my friends, and you are my close teacher. So I am my hesitation is very less.
It's
For
decreasing.
yes,
So
ma'am.
your hesitation is decreasing
Yes, ma'am.
and your confidence is increasing.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely, ma'am.
Yes. So the more you will practice,
Yes,
the more
ma'am.
you will learn, the more you will be more, the more knowledge you will gain through all these readings, right? And I don't know if you watch my previous videos also, and I will recommend you to watch all the videos, even from last year also, whenever you have time, and not just watch it. I will not say just watch it. I will say, when you play the video, sit with a notebook, take the notes, and then just practice it by yourself. And when you practice on each slide, I will say, when we are talking and when you will watch, because I have many students in the classrooms where we have discussions, and even if it's like a solo lesson where I am the only one reading and talking about it, think about it. I will say very simple way is that what is happening, where it's happening, why it's happening, who is there, and what they are talking about, right? So ask yourselves the questions, and then you can talk about it, and you can say, okay, today in this lesson I learned about, and whatever, and I already know this, but this is the new information I learned in this lesson. So then you can talk about it. So see, whatever I'm saying, today I learned about, this is a frame which can help you to start your sentence. And if you say, I already know, or I already knew that, this was like, koi bhi, ab jaise honeybee hai, you already had some kind of a background knowledge about honeybees, right? This was not something I was just bringing it and that was a brand new for you. But there are some things sometimes is like a brand new for you, or if I'm reading a story, for example, it might be you're not familiar with it. But even then, even in the story, you still can make connection with your experiences, right? So always make the connection, and then think about it. What is something you already know from this, and now this is something you learned, the new information, right? Do you understand what I'm talking about?
Right, ma'am.
Right? Because why I want you to do that, because when you pay close attention on your learning and on your knowledge, right? That what you already knew and what you are adding in your knowledge, then guess what? It's going to stay in your brain. Okay. And then you will be able to use it. Now, for example, there are so many words from even from today's lesson I will talk about, because I'm recently. So there were so many words like flower to flower. Okay, their potential means they were going to potentials, honeybees, queen bees, they just kill them. So think about, there are so many sentences, the frames are there, or the sentences are there, which you can use that format in many different situations, right? Not only in this
Right,
topic.
ma'am.
Yeah, so that's what you need to pay attention and practice. And I will advise you to replay it if you want to, and go ahead and then uh, think about your knowledge the very first time, how much you had it, and then when you watch it second time, how much more you gained it. But when you every time focus on something different. Like for example, when you are going, if you replay it and think about it, find out some of the keywords or the vocabulary which you think you can use it in many other situations, and you know how you're going to use it. Like take a toll, for example, right? Take a toll means kya hai, कि उनको नुकसान हो रहा है. And take a toll is like a very common phrase here, people use it. Okay, so I will say find out some of the language and then use it in other situations if you want to, if you seriously that's what I always say, if you seriously want to enhance your skills. सिर्फ सोचने से language improve नहीं होगी, practice करने से होगी. So I'm telling you based on my personal experience. So I hope I will keep uploading some of the videos. I am not very strict with my schedule because YouTube is my something, my
Ma'am,
passion.
ma'am, are
Yes.
you going to take only one day session in
Yeah.
future?
See, I work Monday to Friday, and then I am here Saturday, and I need at least one day break when I can do my personal stuff. You know what I mean?
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
yeah, that was
Ma'am,
too much.
I
But
want
we
to.
are waiting Saturday, Sunday for you.
Yeah,
So
I can understand. But you know what? I don't know when, but when I will be
this is
retired,
the only platform where we are practicing through,
I can understand.
directly. Uh, We are
I
not getting any.
Yes, but see, this is something I really want to do. I want to help students, but at the same time, I have to live my life also. Can you imagine? Because I work Monday to Friday,
Yes,
and
ma'am. It is very difficult to handle all this.
right. So even last night, almost for 3 hours, I was planning for my actual teaching, the work I had to do. So there are so many responsibilities, and that's
Yes,
my job,
yes.
because
You are
that's my,
you
and
are
what,
doing job also, and then their families, and
right,
now you are coaching us.
right. So this is here. See, again, I'm telling you, I don't know when, but whenever I will be retired. And here in America, we don't have a limit for to get retired. So it's all up to me when I want to get retired, so I can be retired, right? So I want to be around students as long as I can. And who knows the future, right? किसी को नहीं पता कल क्या है. तो
Yes, ma'am.
पर ये है कि मैं इस चैनल को लाइव रखना चाहती हूँ, जितना मैं कर सकती हूँ मैं कर रही हूँ. मैं फिर कह रही हूँ कि इस चैनल जो मैंने खोला है मेरा हेल्प करने का है, कि मैं हेल्प कर सकूं. तो
Yes,
अगर
ma'am. We can see, ma'am. We can see we can
Yes,
see
ma'am.
you are helping us, as there is no cost we are paying for you.
right,
We are we know it. But I
right,
don't
Ma'am,
know
I
why
want
the
to say
channel is
something,
not
ma'am.
getting subscriber, and no why I don't
Ravi,
know why people are
Ravi,
not coming.
free का stuff. Okay, I know because I don't sell lies. I don't sell lies. I
Yes,
can't,
ma'am.
and I don't
That's
want
why
to.
I am joining your class only. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not even. I just watching some videos, but I don't like they how they are teaching, because they are just they are
Professionals. Come on.
just
They have to
telling
sell.
about just they are selling, just they are
Yeah.
selling something.
No, but I don't blame them. See, they have to earn money. You know, I am doing it out of passion because I have a very decent job. You understand what I mean?
Yes,
And this
ma'am.
is something I want to do because my kids are grown up, and this is my passion. And this is like, okay, in other words you can say, जैसे कहते हैं कोई सेवा है, कोई सेवा किसी तरह से करता है, कोई किसी तरह से करता है, तो मुझे है कि मैं अगर स्टूडेंट को किसी को सपोर्ट कर सकूं मॉरली कि चलो प्रैक्टिस करो, बोलो, जितना मेरे से हो सकता है मैं कर रही हूँ. लेसन भी अपलोड कर देती हूँ कई बार, मैं पर्टिकुलर तो नहीं हूँ इसमें, बट आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग, राइट? सो
It is good for us, ma'am.
या
It is good for us.
चलो सैटरडे को भी जितना मिलता है. बाकी देखो अगेन, जब मुझे कहीं समर ब्रेक होगी नेक्स्ट ईयर, अगेन समर ब्रेक ऑलमोस्ट मुझे होती है मोर देन 2 months, तो उस टाइम पे मैं कोशिश
Last year I can see there are many sessions you are taking last year in 2020.
ऑलमोस्ट एवरी डे.
Every day, almost every day, I also joined your classes.
Right.
On that time, I also enjoyed your class, ma'am.
Right.
Ma'am, I want to say something, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, actually, I liked your videos, and you commented that that you, Jaslyn, you, ma'am, I like your videos and comment that you are very interesting way of teaching, and you comment that you, Jaslyn, because my ID is Jaslyn and Navraj, and you are so my daughter is Jaslyn.
Your daughter is asking what?
Ma'am, ma'am, actually I comment you, your way of teaching, because my ID name is Jaslyn, and you are saying that you, Jaslyn, that you are meant reply me that you, Jaslyn.
Oh, so your daughter's name is Jaslyn?
Yes, ma'am. My daughter name is Jaslyn.
Okay. Jaslyn?
Yes, ma'am. Jaslyn.
Okay.
हाँ जी, हाँ जी.
Jaslyn कौन सा नाम है? Okay, Jaslyn है.
Jaslyn कौन? हाँ जी.
फिर दसो पंजाबी च Jaslyn.
हाँ जी. Jaslyn मैम, जो हम इंग्लिश में तो JAS जैस बोलते हैं ना.
या इंग्लिश में यस थोड़े बहुत तो हो जाती है गड़बड़, राइट?
हाँ जी मैम.
बट पता क्या, नो, नाम जो है वो नाम जो है वो बिल्कुल सही प्रोनाउंस करने चाहिए. जसलीन है तो है, नॉट जैसलीन. जसलीन, यस.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay guys, so I will see you next Saturday, and thank you so much. If you will like it, give me thumbs up, leave the comments about something you learned. Then उससे क्या होता है कि दूसरे स्टूडेंट्स को कोई कमेंट में फिर देखता है तो उसको पता चलता है हमने क्या पढ़ा, तो शायद कोई देख ले तो किसी की हेल्प हो जाए. बाकी
Yes, ma'am.
you have anyone who is interested, serious students, right? बातें करने वाले नहीं कि आते हैं, बहुत आते हैं, मैम I want to become fluent. Okay, come on, join the class and practice with me. कहने से थोड़ी ना फ्लुएंसी आएगी, प्रैक्टिस करने से होगी. So that's my message to everyone. So again, मीठी मीठी बातें मुझे नहीं आती, मुझे सच्ची बातें आती. मैं सच्ची ही कहूंगी, चाहे कोई आए चाहे ना आए. It's their choice, it's their luck also, I will say. Okay guys,
Thank you.
stay and stay
Thank
blessed.
you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. You are welcome.